Hi, my name is Ola, and my mission with this channel is to help you master programming so you can level up in your career and live an abundant life. In this video, I'm going to show you how to master commenting in JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know about commenting your code in JavaScript and the types of comment that you can use so that you can help your readers or the people you're collaborating with to help you understand what your code is all about. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the types of commenting that we have in JavaScript. Okay, there are two types of commenting that we can do in JavaScript, and as you can see, I'm showing you some examples here. The first type of commenting is single line comment. Okay, this is known as the double forward slash. As you can see on the screen, this is the double forward slash type of comment. You would, if you've looked at other developers' codes before, or maybe you're already a coder yourself, you would have noticed something like this. Using the double slash but in front of the code or by the side of the code like this, that's known as the single line commenting. And the other form of commenting that we have in JavaScript is the multi-line commenting, which is this one right here. And the difference, as you can see, is the multi-line commenting, you use the forward slash and you use a star in front of it, and then you use a star and then a forward slash at the end of it as well. Okay, so that's the difference. This is the single line commenting, like I said, and this is the multi-line commenting. But the difference now is, as you can see, this one that I've just highlighted is got lines of text inside of it. This can be a line of code, okay? We use this multi-line commenting to comment out blocks of code, okay? That's the difference between them. Whereas this single line commenting, I'm going to show you some examples in a little bit, okay? Whereas this simple line commenting, you can use it's more versatile, okay? So let me show you now. Let me scroll down, and as you can see, what we have here is we have some variables, and we're storing some values. As you can see, 5, 6, and then we're just outputting them to the console. And before I show you what it looks like in the console, this is fairly simple, to be honest. But as you can see, this single line commenting is a lot more flexible. It's a lot more neater. Okay, it gives your code a better understanding. It makes it easier for other people to read. For example, if you're collaborating in a team, right, and you're sharing your code with other people or other team members, for example, you would want to comment your code like this. As you can see, I, this is basically, you can basically read the comments and know what this code is about without me actually explaining anything to you. Okay, and what you want to do is you don't want to comment the obvious things. Okay, you just want to give it a meaningful comment. As you can see, this comment here says calculate sum of two numbers stored in these variables. Okay, and if you're an experienced developer, you understand what this says without even reading the comments. But if you're not, if other team members on your group are not developers, maybe they are designers or something, these types of commenting is very, very useful. It's very, very helpful. Okay, so yeah, this is basically a simple way to use the single line form of commenting by just commenting. As you can see, I did one comment at the top, on the sides, and then one comment towards the end of the console log to basically explain what the output of this code is. And if we go to the um, browser, you will see that the output is 11. Okay, so now that is for the single line commenting. As you can see, it's a lot more precise and a lot neater in my opinion. But let's go to the other forms of commenting. And as you can see, before I even uncomment this, you can see that the usefulness of the multi-line commenting is that, as you can see, you see this here, the forward slash and the star is the starting point of it, and then the star and forward slash is the ending point of it. Okay, so which means whatever is in this these symbols, yeah, whatever is inside them gets commented out, which basically means that the JavaScript will not interpret uh, the code block. Okay, if I, as you can see, when we went to the browser, you can see it's not interpreting it. Okay, but if I uncomment it, let me just remove this and remove this. You can see that if I press save and if I go to the browser, the outcome of this would be on in the browser, as you can see. Yes, the sum works perfectly, just as it says here, and it's been console logged because I removed the comment. Let me just undo that. Okay, so that's the difference with this multi-line commenting. You can just take a big block of code on your screen and just basically comment them out from top to bottom. No matter how many lines of code you've written, it might be 1,000 lines of code. If you want to comment everything out, and sometimes in my experience, because you're trying to maybe debug your code, maybe there's an error or there's something that's gone wrong with your code, it's useful to use this form of commenting, this multi-line commenting, and you can use it. Most developers use multi-line commenting as a way to debug their code, okay? Because it's easier to just add this at the bottom of their code and this at the top of their code so that they can find out what's wrong with their code, okay? And then another thing I want to talk about is in terms of what I prefer this form of commenting, this single line commenting is the same as this one I just showed you here. Okay, because with this ones, I'm not with this. The flexibility with single line commenting is I can choose to use it as a label to just comment my code to give it a better understanding, or I could just click on the old code and then press Control and forward slash on my keyboard, and it will do the same thing as this. It will basically comment out the old block of code. But for example, let me undo this now. Right. What I did there is I pressed Control and forward slash, and I'm using a Windows computer here, so you might have to use whatever is equivalent to your computer. Maybe you're on a Mac or something. So, yeah. So what I just did there is the same thing as using this this symbol here. I just used I if I want to comment out this old block of code, I would just use control forward slash. Okay, and that will serve the same purpose as this multi-line commenting. And the reason is, you might be wondering, what's the point of doing the control forward slash on this block of code? But the reason is because let's remember that in JavaScript, this star symbol and this forward slash symbol, they are the arithmetic operators, okay? Which means depending on what your code involves, you might want to avoid, if you're doing a lot of calculation using the multiplication symbol and the division symbol in your code, it might be helpful to not use this form of multi-line commenting, okay? Because you don't want any unexpected errors, all right? So it might be useful to just go with this form of commenting. Okay, it will do the same level of work for you. It will comment out your block of code if you choose to, and it's just pretty straightforward, and you will never come across any errors when it comes to using the single line form of commenting. So Let me comment this out again just for a minute. And then let me press save, and let's go to the browser. And now I've outputted it to the browser. John is alive, as you can see. This is just a simple if statement, with a variable. Okay, so to f- let, let me show you again. To just comment out this block of code, I will highlight it like this. Then I will press Control forward slash, and now I have commented it out, and it will not be in the console anymore. Okay, so those are just the differences of how to comment your code in JavaScript, and you just have to make sure you decide whichever one is best for you based on what your project is about, based on what you're doing with your code. And like one final thing, when you're doing commenting in JavaScript, make sure your comments are descriptive. Make sure they're meaningful. Okay, make sure that someone who hasn't written your code can read your code and understand and be able to read what your code is about. Because the worst thing you can do is, if you're going to leave meaningless comments on your code, it's better not to even leave any comments on your code. Okay, you want to use it as a form of explanation, okay, without you actually explaining to anyone, okay, so that even if a stranger goes on your GitHub and is reading your code, they can understand what your code is about. So, thank you guys. That is all about commenting in JavaScript, okay. And if you like this form of video, if you found this video valuable, please like this video and share it with other people. And don't forget, I will I will share more videos about topics like this, JavaScript, CSS, in terms of front end development. So yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Take care of yourself.